know from you, how has the leadership in Tata Group responded to the pandemic? Any lessons of inspiration for us?
So I think good question, and I think two or three things that the leadership in the Tata Group has done. The first thing that the leadership in the Tata Group did was, I think, recognizing the gravity of the challenge thrown up by COVID-19 and the pandemic. They announced that they would support the nation in a big way. I still remember it was on 28th of March 2020 when both Mr. Ratan Tata and Mr. Chandrasekaran, Mr. Ratan Tata as chairman of the Tata Trust and Mr. Chandrasekaran as chairman of Tata Sons, stood up and committed 1,500 crores to the fight against COVID-19. That's a very significant figure by any standards. And it was committed at the time when there was a lot of ambiguity. The lockdowns had started. But I think in doing that, they have reinforced the objective and purpose of the Tata Group, that community and nation comes first. So that is one lesson in leadership that I take away very clearly, that when the community was in need, leadership did something for the community, and it actually reinforced my own belief in the values of the Tata Group. The second lesson that I saw in leadership was taking the right decisions for the business, which are right in the long term. The pandemic has caused a lot of short-term flux. Let me take an example of, say, Tata Motors. The decision that Tata Motors has taken is to go with electric vehicles in the long term, because the belief is that electric vehicles are far more sustainable, are much better for the environment. In the short term, the pandemic has had its ups and downs. In some months, the demand for cars has been high. In some months, it has not been. But you don't lose sight of that long term. You keep the long term goal in mind and move towards the long term goal, even if you have to make some adjustments for the short term. So I think that's the other lesson I would take from leadership. Do what is right for your company in the long term. I believe that the best leaders during the time of this pandemic have definitely done that. It's a second lesson from the Tata Group. The third, I would say, is the same example I gave of Darbari State and the example of empathy. I think across our companies, I have seen our companies put our people first and try their best to protect as many jobs as possible. Particularly in a challenging environment like this, getting a job is not very easy. And sticking by your people is the other trait of leadership that I have seen work during this pandemic.